So now the Trump administration and DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, are firing military members.
Okay, Stephen, so there are military members of the Guard and Reserve. They are protected by law from being fired from their day job while they're deployed. I have learned that at one agency, an employee who's actually currently deployed with the military has been notified they've been fired. Does your administration understand who actually makes up this workforce that they're dismantling?
I'm sorry, I'm confused by your question. Is your question, does the president have the authority to fire a member of the U.S. military?
This is someone who is a federal employee and is currently deployed, who has government protection. As I'm sure you're aware,
there's
there are
a lot
laws
of
protecting that.
I don't know what laws you're referring to. I would love for you to be more specific. So far, you're not telling me the employee, the agency,
Uniformed Services
the
Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. It's well known by HR in the federal government and in private industry as well.
So,
I'm sorry I made you watch Stephen Miller. I know it's hard to watch that guy because he is just the most squirmy, unlikable person. But I'm going to make you watch him again.
This president, for the first time in history, is committed to restoring accountability at every level of the federal government. You may assert there's no waste in the Pentagon. You may assert there's no waste in
Stephen,
Treasury.
I'm not
you may
asserting,
assert there's no waste in
HHS.
HHS.
Stephen, I don't think anyone...
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted? Every day that no action is taken, the entire salaries of American workers that are taxed disappear forever.
Stephen, let's calm down.
This is not.
We're not having a debate.
There's no reason
about whether there are places.
You are clearly trying to debate me, and I will be as excited as I want to be about the fact that we are saving Americans billions of dollars, that we are ending the theft and waste and grift and corruption, that we are stopping American taxpayer dollars from subsidizing a rogue federal bureaucracy that has been relentlessly weaponized against the American people.
So there's Stephen Miller again, pretending to get angry because he knows Donald Trump is watching and he likes it when people get angry and yell at CNN and Brianna Keilar because they just don't get it. These people are the worst of the worst. Speaking of worst, here's who's running the military now.
You took over the Veterans for Freedom in 2007. In 2008, you raised $8.7 million, but spent more than $9 million, creating a deficit. By January 2009, you told donors that the organization had less than $1,000 in the bank and debts of $434,000. By 2010, revenue at the Veterans for Freedom had dropped to about $265,000. In the next year, it had dropped further to $22,000. You don't dispute these numbers, do you?
Senator, I'm extremely proud of the work me and my fellow vets did at Vets for Freedom. A bunch of young vets with no political experience.
Just a bunch of young guys with no political experience running a charity into the ground. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your Secretary of Defense. And here's somebody who's actually trying to defend vets against DOGE.
Let me tell you a story about Chris. Chris was a guy I met at a shooting event in New Jersey last year.
Was Chris in the interview? Or this is another guy? This is Chris.
Is it a male or female?
Let me finish.
Oh.
55 billion.
I love you. And so he was a 20-year veteran of the U.S. military. He was one of these guys in one of these elite units. Killed a lot of bad guys. Put his life on the line. And now he punched out after 20 years and working for the Pentagon. And he's only been there a few months, so he's probationary. And he just found out he's probably going to get laid off. He's going to get doged. And he texted me and he said, Jesse, you know, this isn't good. I'm upset. This is really sad. And this guy's not a DEI consultant. This guy's not a climate consultant. You know, this guy is a veteran. So when you're talking about doging people, veterans should get priority. Because if you're going to go out there and kill enemies and put your life on the line for this country, you shouldn't be in the same category as people that are doing DEI.
Bet you didn't see that one coming. Jesse Waters actually defending vets from being cut by DOGE. Now, we all know what's going on with DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk. During the campaign, he was at a couple of rallies and he said, as soon as Trump wins, I'll get involved with this DOGE. And he was supposed to be with Ramaswamy as well, who I guess they kicked him out. I don't know where he is now. But he said, I'll get involved and I'm going to cut a bunch of excess spending that we're doing and bring our spending down because we're spending too much. Now, the truth is we all know that the government is a big bureaucracy. Anyone who's ever been to the DMV or anyone who's ever been to any government office for anything knows it's a bureaucracy. It runs slowly. There's a lot probably of waste. But the way to look at it is to go into these agencies and go, let's go down the line and see what the waste is, and then do the cuts. But what DOGE is doing, what Elon and his little 20-year-old tech guys are doing, they're going in and they're just cutting things all across the board. They're very careless in the way they're doing it. They're presenting, I don't know if you saw recently, they said that they saved $8 billion somewhere, and then upon further review, we found out it was $8 million. So we realized that they're not competent. Who is managing the DOGE people? Nobody. And we don't know who they are. They don't have any kind of clearance. They're just getting access to all kinds of information. And now they're starting to fire people who were veterans who were working for the federal government. You saw Jesse Waters talk about that guy who had given his whole life and career to serving in the military and now is working in another capacity for the federal government, and he was on probationary hire, which is the beginning of when you get hired, and he's one of the guys getting cut off. So that's what they're doing. They're using all kinds of excuses to cut people from the payroll and cut them from their jobs. These are people who need these jobs for their day-to-day. They need their jobs probably for health insurance. They need their jobs for many to feed their children. And Elon Musk, the multi-billionaire, is just laying these people off and saying, buckle up, don't worry about it, we'll get through this, the government will be more efficient. Now you got to ask yourself, why are these people trying to show that we're saving some money by cutting all these jobs? Which, by the way, even with all the cuts that they're doing, it's not enough to really make a dent into our national debt. So the question is, why are they doing that? The reason they're doing that is because they're combining what they're going to show by saying, oh, look, we saved a few $1 billion by cutting all these employees. Plus, they're saying we're putting tariffs on other countries, and that's bringing some money in. And they're doing all that in order to be ready for when they want to extend the tax breaks for corporations. These are things that will help Elon Musk in the long run. These are things that benefit Elon Musk in the long run. Elon Musk has gotten government contracts in the process, and he keeps saying, well, we have the best price at the best results. Well, he hasn't shown, he has not been transparent about any of his interests at all. So we really don't know if his companies are the best at getting these contracts. What we do know is that Elon Musk spent over $200+ million to get Donald Trump elected. And one could probably assume that at some point there was a conversation that was had that said, hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Because let's face it, Elon Musk, by helping getting Donald Trump elected, kept Donald Trump out of prison. Because Donald Trump was heading to prison with the Jack Smith case and all that other stuff that happened with the insurrection, with the classified documents. He was in big legal trouble, and it all went away because Elon Musk was one of the people who came in and was able to spend all that money and get this guy elected. And Elon, we all know, is another megalomaniac. I mean, the fact that Elon Musk was in the White House, you guys saw those clips? You should watch those clips, the video of Elon in the Oval Office taking questions as if he is the president. And his kid is going up to Donald Trump and saying, you're not the president. I mean, if that doesn't tell us who has a lot of privilege in this administration, I don't know what else you need. So now here they are going after veterans who have sacrificed. And of course, MAGA says they're very pro-veteran, the same way they say they were pro-police, pro-the blue, and yet when they attacked and stormed the Capitol and they tried to kill police, then in that situation, they don't see the hypocrisy. And so similarly now, they're going after veterans who are part of the government employees, and they're firing them without really doing an in-depth analysis. No matter what size company you're looking at, if you had a small company and you wanted to get rid of some of your overhead, it takes some time to analyze to see who is redundant, who do we not need. These guys are just slashing it left and right. Who knows? Maybe it's just AI. Maybe these little tech nerds are sitting there and using AI to go, okay, anybody who was hired in this period should be fired. Or anybody who is, they call it DEI, a DEI hire should be fired. Because obviously if you're somebody who's a person of color or you're female or you're LGBTQ plus member of that community, you're not qualified to work in anything, of course. That's how they see it. And that's actually where Jesse Waters' analysis kind of goes awry, because he's saying, hey, the veterans should not be cut, but if you're DEI, you should be cut. But the question is, what is DEI, and were those people qualified? They were qualified, but just because you're saying they weren't qualified doesn't mean you can still cut them. Regardless, it's all just a total mess right now. And we are seeing day by day that there's places like the Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, they're cutting, there's planes crashing and they're cutting people in the FAA. They went after USAID, where there's diseases overseas that we, America, was helping eradicate, which are now going to be let go, which, by the way, will come back and haunt us. And now they're going after military members, people who they claim they support, but obviously they don't. Where are the Republicans? Where are the Republicans who always stood by the military? Where are they? They're nowhere to be found, because all the spines have gone. All the spines have gone. Donald Trump is just running amok. He's a nut job. And Elon Musk is somebody who is clearly, we all know that he's got these fascist tendencies. He's pro right-wing parties in Germany. He told them that they should be proud of that right-wing past. He comes from the apartheid, South African apartheid culture and grew up in that. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this, he had Donald Trump put out another one of these statements saying that the South African government needs to repatriate and give back the homes of white South Africaners who lost their homes when apartheid ended. So it's all very interesting how a lot of things that benefit Elon Musk are being put into place at the expense of veterans, at the expense of our health, at the expense of our safety. And here we go. And it's only been a month. So, what do? I don't know, folks. What you do, hopefully, is you vote in the midterm elections and get a Democratic Congress in that can at least stop some of these things. But currently, the Republican Congress ain't stopping nothing. So we're screwed. Guys, I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I've got a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. Check it out. Leave a comment. Let me know you found me there. Found me here, I should say. And I'm also on tour, so come see me live. I'll see you out there, and hang in there. Don't get fired.